I stood in the corner of the listing celebration banquet, watching my ex-wife Selena on the stage, who was shining brightly. She was holding William's hand with a bright and moving smile, just like when she stood beside me 5 years ago. General Manager Levi, Miss Selena is going to give the company as a dowry to William. My assistant's voice came through the earphone. I gently rubbed the goblet in my hand and thought of that wedding anniversary when I opened the door. She was snuggling in William's arms. Honey, listen to my explanation. I just turned around and left calmly, even signing the divorce agreement. With a scribble, Levi, are you just admitting defeat like this? Everyone asked me this. They wouldn't understand that I was just waiting for an opportunity. Now she wants to give away the company I founded with my own hands, and the smile on her face is so proud. Are you ready? I pressed the earphone. Let's give this beautiful couple a big gift. Among the clinking of glasses, I saw Selena walking towards me with a champagne glass. After 5 years, she was still so bright and moving. The black Chanel evening dress outlined her perfect figure, and the diamond necklace around her neck shone with a cold light. Oh, isn't this my ex-husband? She raised her glass and said in a frivolous tone, I heard you've been so busy with this listing that you're burned out. I took a sip of red wine and didn't speak. What? You don't even want to talk to your ex-wife after 5 years? She took a step closer. Are you still holding a grudge against me for those shares I divided? Since Miss Selena calls herself an ex-wife, why care about my attitude? TSK, turning your back on people so quickly. You didn't speak like this when you were calling me baby and wife in bed. I clenched the wine glass tightly. William came over somehow and put his arm around Selena's waist. General Manager Levi, tonight, Selena and I are going to announce a great piece of news. You must stay to witness it. Yes, Selena leaned against him. You won't refuse to give your ex-wife this face, will you? Of course. I raised my glass. I'm looking forward to watching your good show. General Manager Levi. The assistant ran over in a panic. Something bad. The Selena Group is crazy about acquiring our company's stocks. How much is it now? It has exceeded 15%, plus the shares in Miss Selena's hand. They will soon take control. I took the document. What a good plan. The lights in the banquet hall dimmed, and the spotlight shone. On the podium, Selena walked onto the stage with William on her arm. The wedding anniversary necklace I gave her was dazzling on her neck. Everyone. William's voice was obviously proud. Today is not only our engagement banquet but also a major announcement. That's right. Selena took the microphone. I have decided to give the shares of Levi Group Technology as a dowry to the man I love the most. There was an uproar in the audience. General Manager Levi, they are trying to grab it. Only the assistant was so anxious that he stamped his feet. I stared at the bloody red wine in the glass and sneered. The calmness when I signed the divorce agreement 5 years ago made them think I was a coward. Check Williams' funds in Singapore. I put down the glass. Since they want to play, let's play with them. Selena was still making a heartfelt confession on the stage, and her eyes stayed on me when she swept the audience. I raised my glass to her and said, Bitch, you better pray you won't regret it. Looking at the two of them being lovey-dovey on the stage, my mind couldn't help but flash back to the first encounter on campus. At that time, Selena was still the beauty of the computer science department, standing under the cherry blossom tree in a white dress with a bright smile. Senior, I think your startup plan is amazing. Can I join your team? Just you. I looked her up and down. Do you know how hard starting a business is? I'm not afraid of hardship. She raised her chin stubbornly. I can also write code and help you with technology. Aren't you the young lady of the Selena Group? Won't your family agree? So, what? She looked me in the eye. Do you also think I can only be a vase? That's what moved me. In the following days, we worked in the underground garage and ate instant noodles to save money for research and development. Levi, how do you like this coat? I wrote. She had red eyes from staying up late but was still excited. Silly, go and rest if you're sleepy. No, the project is about to be completed. I want to stay up with you. At that time, her eyes were only filled with persistence for the dream. Levi, my father's angry roar echoed in the office. Are you crazy? Giving up the family business for a woman from the Selena family? Dad, I want to succeed by my own ability. Do you think the Selena family will let their daughter suffer? They will take her back sooner or later. No, Selena, get out of here. From today on, you are no longer my son. I left home with simple luggage, and Selena was waiting for me downstairs. Levi, I'm sorry, silly. Having you is enough. The project finally showed signs of improvement, and we rented our first formal office. Levi, she threw herself into my arms. We did it. Silly girl, this is just the beginning. Then let's get married. She blushed. So that I will always be yours. Who would have thought that this always would be so short? As the company grew bigger and bigger, she changed. More and more, obviously. Selena, today is our first wedding anniversary. There are still things to do in the company. You can spend it by yourself. I stood in the restaurant and watched the full table of dishes slowly cool down. General Manager Levi, something bad. The secretary ran over in a panic. Someone is hacking our system. I rushed to the company overnight but found that Selena's office light was still on. The moment I pushed open the door, I saw her talking intimately with a man. William, do you think this is really okay? Don't worry. As long as we follow the plan, he will go bankrupt soon. I quietly stepped back and felt my heart torn apart. It turned out that the happiness I tried so hard to protect was just a joke in her eyes. General Manager Levi. My assistant's voice pulled me back to reality. Selena on the stage was talking emotionally. These shares are the last tie between me and my ex-husband today. I want to cut off this past in front of everyone. I watched her performance coldly. The girl who had desperately pursued her dream had finally become the young lady of the Selena family that my father had mentioned. Prepare the car, I said to the assistant. It's time for them to know that some debts have to be paid back. 5 years ago, on our wedding anniversary, it was our 5th wedding anniversary, and for the first time, I wanted to prepare a surprise for her. In the past, she had always carefully planned various romances for me. I remember that in the first year, she set up a candlelit dinner on the company rooftop and recreated the scene of us working overtime in the underground garage when we first started our business. In the second year, she booked the entire cinema to rescreen the movie we watched on our first date. In the third year, she took me back to that underground garage and filled the place where we used to work with roses. At that time, she was always full of surprises. Levi, guess what I bought for you? She covered my eyes from behind, speaking mysteriously. It was the packaging box of our company's first product with our group photo printed on it. Silly, why would you give me this? Why not? This is our hard work. She threw herself into my arms. When we go public, this will be the most precious souvenir. But everything changed in the past 6 months. She attended more and more business dinners, often coming back late at night. Sometimes when I called, there were sounds of clinking glasses and William's deliberately lowered voice on the other end. Honey, this is a big client. I need to stay with them, she always explained. Abnormal data began to appear in the company's financial statements, with huge sums of money flowing to an offshore account. Don't worry, it's for tax avoidance, she said casually. William began to frequent the company as an investment advisor. The way he looked at Selena made me uncomfortable, but she was unusually friendly to him. At the board meeting, she took the initiative to propose making William a company advisor and gave him significant decision-making power. He's an expert in this field and will help the company, she convinced me. We rarely had breakfast together anymore, let alone dates. Even at last month's board meeting, she only sent an assistant. The assistant's hesitant expression and colleagues' evasive glances all hinted at something, but I chose to trust her. After all, we'd come all the way from that underground garage to the downtown office building together. General Manager Levi, your wife, Aide, she'll be working overtime tonight, the secretary said hesitantly. It's okay, I'll go to the company to find her, but what's wrong? Nothing, the secretary stammered. Your wife said she's in an important meeting and asked not to be disturbed. Also, what nothing? The secretary trailed off. I see. I hung up, looked in the rearview mirror, and adjusted my tie. The suit was a custom-made one she gave me last year. She said this color suited my temperament best. 5 years from when she stood up to her family for me to when I cut off ties with my father for her. We'd supported each other and worked hard together. Son Selena's family won't let their daughter suffer. My father's warning echoed in my ears. Dad, I believe in Selena. She's sincere. You fool. Now I realized maybe my father had seen through everything. I remembered this day last year when she whispered in my ear, meeting you is the greatest luck in my life. Then she leaned against me, her eyes full of tenderness. Now I thought maybe that was also part of her superb acting. The car stopped at the gate of our house, and I froze. A pair of strange men's leather shoes were neatly placed in the entrance. They were handmade Oxford shoes, very expensive. The soles were almost new, so the owner couldn't have gone far. I'd seen these shoes on William countless times. From the living room came Selena's laughter, bright and gentle, the kind I hadn't heard in a long time. That laughter used to belong only to me. Now it bloomed for another man. Do you remember our first meeting? It was William's voice, of course. I was still in college then. If it weren't for your father insisting that you get close to Levi, the cake box in my hand fell to the floor with a dull thud. The conversation in the living room stopped abruptly. Selena opened the door. When she saw me, a flash of panic crossed her eyes. Levi. She took an involuntary step back. I squatted down and picked up the scattered cake pieces one by one. Cream stuck to my hands, just like my 5-year relationships, dicky and disgusting. Selena, I stood up, my voice calm. Let's get a divorce. You've acted so hard these 5 years. The divorce went smoothly. I took the initiative to give up the property division. Selena got 20% of the shares, which made everyone think I was crazy. You're just giving up. The lawyer looked at me in confusion. I didn't explain, just calmly signed a divorce agreement. Back at the empty house, I turned on the computer and called up all the financial records from the past 6 months. Sure enough, since the day William joined the company, money had been flowing to an offshore account. General Manager Levi, we found something, the assistant said, sending an encrypted file. That account belongs to the Selena Group. I sneered and opened another folder. It contained every expense, every business dinner, and every phone record of Selena's over the years. You spied on me. I remembered how angry she was when she found out. I was just worried you were too. Tired, I pretended to care. She believed me, or maybe she thought I was still the fool who trusted her completely. Little did she know that since the first abnormal transfer, I'd been preparing. General Manager Levi, we found something else. The assistant's voice trembled. The Selena Group started planning 5 years ago. I clicked on the file. It turned out that the year I met Selena, the Selena Group had already been plotting to acquire my company. And Selena was the pawn they arranged. You mean she's been lying to me from the start? I stared at the photo taken 5 years ago on the screen. In the photo, she stood under a cherry blossom tree, smiling brightly. Back then, I thought that was the most sincere smile in the world. Not only that, the assistant continued, William is the illegitimate son of the Selena Group, secretly raised since childhood. So this was their plan, have Selena marry me, then have William steal her away, and finally achieve the acquisition through divorce and equity transfer. What a great play. Unfortunately, they didn't know I'd seen through this drama long ago. Oh, right, General Manager Levi, we found a recording. The assistant sent a voice message. It was a conversation between Selena and William. Do you think he'll really give me all the shares? It was Selena's voice. Don't worry, he loves you so much, he'll definitely give them to you willingly. Then the company will be ours. Exactly. Then we can. I turned off the recording. My eyes, cold soak, eager to get my company. Then I'll play along with you. Check William's assets in Singapore. I told the assistant. We're already on it. He has several shell companies there, and there's been frequent capital flow recently. Good. Keep checking. I opened the safe and took out a document. It was a backup from when the company was registered. Selena thought I'd transfer all my shares to her, but she didn't know I'd made plans for the worst. All the funds flowing to the offshore account had actually been under my surveillance, and the shares she thought she'd obtained were just an empty shell. General Manager Levi, should we act now? No, I interrupted the assistant. Wait, a little longer. I wanted them to taste what it was like to be played with. The moonlight outside the window was cold, just like on that wedding anniversary night 5 years ago. I picked up my phone. Selena, message happened to come in. Levi, thank you for being magnanimous. We can still be friends. Friends. I looked at the phone screen and smiled coldly. The show is just beginning. The acquisition by the Selena Group came quickly. In just 1 month, they had already acquired 15% of the shares. Adding the 20% held by Selena, it was enough to pose a threat to the company. I sat in my office, staring at the data report my assistant handed me. Every transaction was concealed, purchased through different accounts in a dispersed manner. If I hadn't laid plans in advance, I would never have discovered that all these accounts pointed to the Selena Group. A gilded invitation rested on my desk, printed with a photo of Selena and William. She leaned into his arms, her smile brighter. Then it had been 5 years ago. The engagement banquet was scheduled for the eve of the company's listing, the timing impeccably calculated. Miss Selena intends to announce at the engagement banquet that she will gift her shares to William as a dowry, my assistant said nervously. I gently ran my thumb along the edge of the invitation. This was indeed a meticulously orchestrated play. First, she obtained shares through divorce. Then, under the guise of an engagement, she would transfer them. Finally, she would collude with the Selena Group from within. Did they think this would perfectly avoid the legal risks of equity transfers? The news from Singapore was even more intriguing. Over the past 6 months, large sums of money had flowed from the Selena Group's offshore account into Williams' shell companies, totaling approximately $5 billion. This figure was identical to the offer the Selena Group had made to acquire my company 5 years ago. When I rejected it, they sent Selena, now preparing the same amount. Was this meant to tell me everything was under their control? Some board members were already getting restless, worrying that the Selena Group's hostile takeover would affect the listing, but they didn't know I'd long prepared a trump card. On the surface, I had transferred a large number of shares to Selena. In reality, those shares were controlled through special shareholding agreements. Once she violated the agreement to transfer the shares, they would automatically revert to me. The office door suddenly opened, and Selena walked in on Williams' arm. Levi, did you receive the invitation? Her smile remained as gentle as ever. I looked up at her. I did. It's a beautiful invitation. Then you must come, she said, leaning against William. After all, I want to give the last gift you gave me to the person I love most. William put his arm around her waist and looked at me triumphantly. Surely, General Manager Levi doesn't mind. Of course not, I said, standing up. But are you certain that's really a gift from me? Selena's smile froze. What do you mean? Nothing, I said, walking over to her. Just a reminder that some gifts come with conditions. Watching their retreating backs, I opened the safe and took out a document, the equity agreement signed with Selena all those years ago. It clearly stated, shares shall not be transferred to third parties without the undersigned's consent. In the event of a violation, the shares shall automatically revert to the original owner. At the end of the agreement was Selena's signature. Back then, she'd been so eager to get the shares that she'd signed without reading the contents. This agreement was the final gift from the cowardly ex-husband she thought she knew. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Selena. Levi, I hope you can bless us. I stared at the message, recalling how she'd once smiled and announced to everyone that she would marry me. Now she would use the same method to give away the fruits of my labor to someone else. The agreement in the safe glowed coldly under the lights, mirroring the chill in my heart. After the engagement, invitations went out. Selena and William began making high-profile appearances at various events. Business magazines competed to cover the couple, hailing them as the perfect business duo. A powerful alliance, a strong integration of Levi Group technology. Powerful alliance, I scoffed, tossing the magazine into the trash. Just a pair of conniving frauds. News from Singapore revealed that Williams' shell companies had begun frequent operations, with massive funds being transferred from offshore accounts into his personal accounts. What a fool, so eager to embezzle the $5 billion. General Manager, Levi, the Selena Group has been spreading rumors in the industry about a full acquisition of our company, my assistant said, handing over a market survey. The stock price has started to fluctuate. I opened my computer and pulled up the stock chart. Sure enough, since the news broke, the company's stock price had plummeted. This was their first move, creating market panic to drive down the stock price and facilitate the acquisition. Find out who's been selling recently. Soon, a list was placed before me. All were unanimously partners of the Selena Group. They were clearly attempting a Wei Jiushao strategy, attacking the ally to rescue the target. Oh, and General Manager Levi, we found something else. My assistant whispered, William has been secretly contacting our key clients. I clicked on the surveillance video. There was William, in an upscale club, in deep conversation with our largest client. Just cooperate, and once the acquisition is complete, the prices will definitely satisfy you. What about General Manager Levy? William sneered. Just a man destined to be ousted. I turned off the video, my gaze growing icier. They planned to cut off our client base to further depress the company's value. A ruthless strike at the core. Save all the evidence, I told my assistant. By the way, how's the legal team preparing? Ready to go. As soon as Miss Selena announces the share transfer at the engagement banquet, we can initiate legal proceedings. I stood up and walked to the window. Below, Selena was walking toward the parking lot on William's arm. She wore high heels, her posture elegant, flashing him a sweet smile every now and then. That smile had once been mine alone. General Manager Levi, are you still thinking about Miss Selena? No, I said, looking away. I'm thinking about her expression when she learns the truth. My assistant looked puzzled. What truth? I opened the safe and took out another document. William's investigation report. Check the recent fund flows of this account, I said, pointing to a string of numbers. This is William's fund transfer account. He thinks he's hidden it well, but I've been under my surveillance all along. My assistant soon returned with results. As I thought, I sneered. This fool has already transferred most of the Selena Group's money. Should we know? Wait a little longer. I watched their car disappear. Down the street, let them finish their performance first. The engagement invitations, gilded letters shone blindingly. The date was set for next Saturday night, the last trading day before the company's listing. They'd chosen this timing to formally announce control of Levi Group under the guise of an engagement, but they didn't know I was waiting for this very moment. Oh, right. I suddenly remembered. Tell the legal team to prepare this too. I handed my assistant a document. Is my God. He stared. What? This is the evidence from back then that the Selena Group. Exactly. It's the evidence of their setup to frame me. I sneered. Since they want to play, let's play to the end. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Selena. I've had the suit for the engagement banquet delivered to your office. I hope you'll wear it to witness the most important moment of my life. I stared at the message, recalling our wedding ceremony 5 years ago. Back then, she had personally chosen my suit, saying she wanted me to be the most dazzling groom. Opening the office wardrobe, the brand new suit hung there quietly. I ran my hand over the collar, a cold smile curving my lips. Perfect. I'll wear the suit you picked to witness your downfall. The engagement banquet hall blazed with light. I stood in the corner watching the crowd clinking glasses. Selena wore a custom Chanel gown, radiant among the guests. She held William's arm, her face glowing with happiness. The diamond necklace I'd given her still rested on her neck, sparkling under the crystal chandeliers. General Manager Levi, you actually came. William approached with a champagne flute, wearing the suit Selina prepared for you. After all, it's my ex-wife's big day. I raised my glass. It would make me look petty if I didn't show up. You're surprisingly magnanimous, he smirked. There's a surprise later. I hope you won't mind. Is it about announcing the shares? His smile froze. I see the news has reached you. No need to be nervous, Mr. William. I sipped my wine. I've already let go. Good to hear. He relaxed. I was worried you might interfere. I chuckled. This is Selina's choice. What right do I have to stop her? Before William could respond, Selina glided over. Levi, she looped her arm through William's. The suit fits perfectly. Yes, I adjusted my tie. You've always known my taste. Her eyes flickered. They're about to make the announcement. I'm waiting. The hall lights dimmed. Spotlights focused on the stage. Selina's father stepped up with a microphone, beaming. Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate my daughter's engagement. From the corner, I sent a message to my assistant. Ready? Everything is set. After Selina's father finished speaking, she walked onto the stage with William. Thank you for witnessing our happy moment. Her voice still melodious. Today I want to make an important announcement. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I've decided to gift my shares in Levi Group Technology to the man I love most as my dowry. Applause thundered. Additionally, William took the mic. I am honored to announce that the Selina Group will fully acquire Levi Group Technology, opening a new chapter for us. Even louder applause erupted. I pressed send on my phone. The next second, the banquet hall's giant screen flickered to life. What is this? Selina's voice trailed off. The screen played a video of her conversation with William. Will the setup to frame Levi 5 years ago be exposed? Don't worry, we destroyed all the evidence. What about this acquisition? Same strategy. Once you transfer the shares to me, I can. The video cut off abruptly. Dead silence fell over the room. Who did this? Selina's father roared. I raised my glass and walked slowly toward the stage. Me. Selina turned pale. Levi, you surprised? I sneered. But this isn't all. The screen switched to another scene. Evidence of William's fund transfers $5 billion. I looked at Selina's father, whose face had turned livid. That was the price you tried to buy my company for, right? Too bad your dear son-in-law has already transferred that money to his own accounts. The crowd gasped. William turned ashen. Impossible. How did you get these files? One more thing. I produced the equity agreement. Selina, remember this. She trembled as she took the document. Shares shall not be transferred to third parties without consent. Her voice weakened. Exactly. I smiled. So the shares you just announced, they've always been mine. You, Selina's father raged. Guards, throw him out. Save your breath, I interrupted. By now, the police should be downstairs. After all, commercial fraud and fund embezzlement are serious crimes. Selina collapsed to the floor. Levi, you knew all along. From the day you set up your scheme, I've been waiting for this. I looked down at her. Now it's your turn to taste what it's like to be played. The engagement banquet news shook the business. World media outlets scrambled to cover the drama, but I simply sat in my office watching the chaos unfold. General Manager Levi, Miss Selina is downstairs, my assistant said. Push the door open and enter. Send her up. Selina's footsteps approached the door, lacking their usual elegance. Her high heels clacked weakly against the floor as if she drained all her strength. Levi, her voice was hoarse. I looked up to see her haggard face. Even her meticulous makeup couldn't hide the dark circles under her eyes. Her Chanel suit hung wrinkled, all traces of her socialite glamour gone in just a week. She looked 10 years older. The Selina Group stock had plummeted. Its board of directors had resigned en masse, and her halo as a business darling had vanished. What do you want? Please spare my father, she choked out. He's old, he can't take this kind of blow, I sneered, stepping toward her. Did your father consider my situation when he framed me? I know I was wrong. She knelt, her expensive suit brushing the dusty floor. Please give me another chance. Another chance. I stared down at her, my eyes cold. Do you deserve one? Familiar words, familiar scene. Only this time, the roles were reversed. Remember, at our doorstep that day, you begged me like this. I looked at her disheveled state. Now you know how it feels. What it's like to be betrayed by the person you trusted. Most her tears fell in big drops, smudging her carefully applied makeup. I'm sorry. I really know I was wrong. No, you were wrong. I scoffed. Are you feeling sorry for your father or for those shares? No, she grabbed my pant leg. I really enough. I shook her off. The evidence of commercial fraud is all in the police's hands. This is a legal matter, not something I can just let go of. What about William? The money he transferred. Do you think he'd leave a way out for you? I walked back to my desk. That money's already been moved to who knows which country. She collapsed onto the floor, her polished exterior completely shattered. Just go, I said. Don't ever show up in front of me again. Levi, I really did love you. Enough. I spun around. Stop acting. Your acting is excellent, but this play ends now. Watching her walk away in defeat, I suddenly felt exhausted. 5 years of waiting, 5 years of pretending. It all ended in this moment. A month later, Levi Group Technology went public successfully. General Manager Levi, would you like to order food? The assistant asked. No, I picked up my coat. I want to visit that noodle shop. Pushing open the noodle shop's door, the familiar aroma hit me. This was the small place Selena and I used to frequent during our startup days, near that old underground garage. I remembered those days when we'd code on empty stomachs, splurging here only when we scraped together enough money. She always ordered the same beef noodle soup, adding 2 spoons of chili, even in freezing winter, sweating profusely but calling it happiness. The shop owner recognized me. Little General Manager Levi, long time no see, a bowl of beef noodles, I said. She paused, glancing at the empty space behind me. Not 2 bowls, no, just 1. From now on, the noodles tasted the same, but I was no longer the lovesick fool I used to be. The chili stung my eyes, but I couldn't taste the old flavor anymore. Stepping out of the shop, the sun was setting. Passing a flower store, I saw familiar cherry blossoms. That spring, 5 years ago, she'd stood under a cherry tree, smiling as she walked toward me in a white dress, youthful radiance. Back then, I truly thought it was the most beautiful scene in the world. Sir, want to buy flowers? The owner asked. Cherry blossoms are at their peak. I looked at the delicate petals, recalling the faint cherry blossom scent on her. No, I shook my head. Cherry blossoms are beautiful but too fleeting. What kind of flowers do you like then? He fell on the green plants in the window, unremarkable, yet evergreen. Maybe it's time to choose something that lasts longer.